In this world, angels live among us. Many great invincible beings of immeasurable power, a bridge between us and the gods. These creatures are not as you might imagine them. While some are human-like in their appearance, most are alien. A sitting mountain, a giant boar, a hovering sphere. Each of the angels provides a powerful boon to the surrounding area and its inhabitants. They do not speak to us. They do not move. We built our world around them. They shaped our cultures. We rely on them. Until something dark came along. Now, one by one, the angels have been slain. The people of the lands around them slaughtered. A wave of death is spreading across our world. Only a few places remain as a final bastion of life. Only a few against an endless horde of oblivion. And within these few, a single band of unlikely heroes, bound by forces beyond their understanding. In this world, there is only a single word that describes their soul-bound connection.
Night has come and gone, and Moon has once again been under attack from the undead beyond the wall. There was a few moments of chaos that would have erupted in the town as a handful of the creatures made their way up from the lake itself. They're sort of making their way under the water. It's sort of, there wouldn't be too many of them, but there would be moments of like sort of manic chaos in town because they can't really defend themselves from lakeside. However, the town itself has successfully repelled the attack once again. As day breaks, the sort of undead onslaught here seems to lessen as the town begins to take a moment to rest and breathe again. Additionally, during the night, the dragon Reothamus awoke and sort of joined the fight with these sort of great plumes of scorching napalm running lines up and down the waves of undead lizard men. And then with the sort of recession of the creatures, the dragon returns to the perch beside the two atop the mountain temple to Dunatis and enters another sort of deep sleep for the day. I think in different parts of the town we find our party members. Where did each of you stay and what did you do over the course of the evening? We'll start with Thrak.
Yeah, so I would have gone immediately to the tower where I trained and started. I would have looked for Odd to see if he was there. Yeah, didn't think he would be. And then I think I would have looked around for maybe a clue as to where he is, or perhaps a spell of some kind that could help me find him if I had the time before resting.
Yeah, give me an investigation check. We'll see if you can pull anything here. Not with advantage, so... Well, unless you have advantage for some reason?
No, I do not have advantage.
Okay, so a 13. There's certainly ways that you could... There are plenty of spells that would aid potentially in finding Hard himself or locating him. There are all sorts of location and divination spells. but I don't think you find any, just to hand. There might be some things that could eventually sort of turn into a spell that would do that, but it would take you a huge amount of time, and it's sort of a situation where those kinds of spells are just outside of your abilities right now. The equivalent of finding like a book that maybe details an 8th level spell. You just don't have the time. Even if you sat there all night studying it, there's no way you'd do it in one night. He hasn't really left anything. He left you that single floating note, but he has left absolutely no clues whatsoever. You get the sense that he actually went out of his way to ensure that you would not be able to track him, cleaning up after himself and leaving none of his things that you would have expected him to take are even missing. To give you an idea, like there's no fur coat or swimwear, to suggest that he went to a beach or that he went out into the cold or anything like that. So I think really there's nothing here. He sort of he seems to have gone out of his way to counter this very task.
Right, okay. Then I would just probably rest in my room for the rest of the night.
Okay. Jilden, what would Jilden do?
I've looked for one of the rooms that I would stay in. With a comfort as such over the past year. I've surrounded myself with trinkets, various things I've collected, small coins, shiny things, things I've stolen over the last few weeks, I suppose, of traveling and fighting at this point. And I sit there and I open a small vial and I paint this on my face and I offer it up to the moon outside the window. And I say, "Great Elneus, not a moment too soon. Fresh, sweet blood I offer the moon." And then I dab a bit of blood on every one of these trinkets. And I sit there and begin a strange sort of meditation for a little while. Just quietly.
Okay. Sia. What would he be doing?
I think I would have also retreated to my quarters in the same building that Jilden was in. And with my newly acquired godling limb, I'm going to spend the first few hours of the evening trying to elucidate what it is, understand it, if I can. Maybe determine if I can shape it, perhaps. Right now it's just a branch. I would, if I could, have taken a sharpening stone or razor to the branch, and I would have tried to start to smooth out the edges, make it more staff-like. This is a meditative sort of endeavor that we do sometimes with objects we find on the field to turn into weapons of our sect.
Okay. What types of tools do you have on you? Do you have any tools that would aid in this?
A ritual flint, that's it.
Just flint? Do you have sort of proficiency with anything like this? Smithing and things like that, wood carving?
Do not believe I have proficiency in such things, no.
Okay. Roll me two things. Roll me a survival check and an arcana check.
Okay. Survival check coming in first. That's going to be a 20.
Ooh, nice.
The arcana check is going to be a 4.
I think you can begin to try and shape this thing. If you're sort of going at this in the same way as you might whittle a normal tree branch or a stick or something, you'll notice that this thing is incredibly strong. Like this wood, it takes a huge amount to take off a small amount of the bark from this thing just to begin shaping this wood. You get the sense that you are probably either going to need a huge amount of time, an expert at crafting sort of magical items, basically, or some specialist items that to aid in improving what this thing would do. However, for now, you can use this as a quarterstaff, and it's the same stats as a quarterstaff, but it counts as magical damage when you're using it as a quarterstaff. So, for all intents and purposes, from now on, whenever you roll with a quarterstaff there, if you're using that stick, it will count as magic damage. But to sort of enhance it any further, you're going to need to do one of those three things or get creative in some other way.
Okay, I think in determining that I can't do anything with it that I can normally, I will put it aside. I will be using it in place of my usual quarterstaff, but for now, because I'm retiring, it's going to the side in the corner of my room. I then pull out a small booklet. It's red. The inside is it's not paper per se, it's more a white soapy wax, and with a small red crystal bound to the spine. I'm gonna take it out of the spine and start journaling what happened today, as I do every day. The writing is points like braille on the white wax, and that's how I spend my evening before going into a meditation.
Okay. And lastly, Cirrus, how do you spend the evening, the night?
I head back to the quarter of the city that is where the clerics usually live. And I'm going to take up residence at the nearest flame fire that I can find, and I'm going to tend to my blade, so cleaning it, oiling it, sharpening it, and once that is done sort of methodically, I will then train with it, just sort of like aggressively working out some of the feelings that I have from the day. And that's it.
Do you sleep?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Okay. Yeah, night comes and goes. It's a bit of a mad evening, as every now and then the town sort of erupts into semi-chaos and panic, but you're able to take a long rest. So you receive the effects of a long rest, whatever that means for all of you, but essentially you should be at full HP and you should have all of your spell slots and abilities, and you get half of your hit dice back rounded up as well. The next morning, Cirrus, where is your Quura mark on your body?
It's on my left arm.
When you wake up, and maybe you're sort of preparing yourself for the day, you probably don't feel very rested, by the way, but you know, you are getting yourself together, and you notice that the strange tattoo-like scar tissue that makes up the symbol on your arm has darkened in color.
I touch it with, because it's on my shoulder, so I touch it with my hand lightly, and then just kind of note it, but then move on with my day.
Assuming that most of you get ready and potentially meet for maybe breakfast in the longhouse, we can sort of imagine a moment where you're all sort of meeting, greeting, checking that, you know, you've all rested, and grabbing a a breakfast of sorts. There isn't probably a lot to offer. I think for breakfast here, there's always fish because they live on the lake. They probably have some bread. Maybe they'll have some porridge. Maybe they'll have some eggs. But yeah, it's kind of pretty slim pickings out here. It's one of the, I'd say maybe one of the downsides if you're from a place that has a bountiful harvest. They don't tend to have a huge variety of food. But as you guys are sitting down for your breakfast here, I think you recognize there would be a sort of a strange sound as a sled pulls up to the front of the home and hearth here, where the doorway fills with the sight of Thor's and another Goliath, a cleric, that is pulling this small sled. Upon the sled are 4 packs, and Thor's kind of looks around before sort of noting where each of you is, gives a curt wave, and then heads over towards you and takes a seat next to each of you while you're all maybe finishing up with your breakfast. As he looks across each of you, giving you each a nod, he says,
I hope you all slept as well as you could.
It's quite difficult with all the din going on out there.
Yes, of course.
Maybe just take it into consideration next time you have guests.
Unfortunately, our guests are all unwelcome right now.
Well, I'm sure you'll reopen soon enough.
Yes. We have collected some packs for you. Inside is lots of rations, 4 sets of fur-lined clothing for the cold, as well as some supplies.
Thank you very much.
Yes. There are options that we have discussed with the scouts and Oswald. Different ways that you are going to potentially be able to make it out of Huma and along your journey.
I believe we're ready. I look to everyone.
Ready as I can be.
who has the map? He had a map last week, and I'm just, I don't know if I expressly said that he gave it to you, but he did.
It would not have been me.
Selfishly, I want to say me, probably.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
You have the map.
Yes.
Our scouts, they do not know the lands very well. The place that you will be heading towards. Unfortunately, you will have to find your own way. They suggest finding the mountain and keeping it to your south. Walk along until you are able to find a way through.
All right.
Yes, you will be traveling through Selvae. It is giant lands, for the most part. Similar to Uma, but with many giants. Unless, of course, they are gone.
That would be frightening, if that were the case.
I think perhaps it would be more frightening if they were not, and they were changed. You must keep your wits about you. Further to the east, there is Condor Reach. This place is also quite empty. For the most part, it is populated only with monsters, creatures, things that
you don't necessarily want to bump into in the night, but it is also home to the great condor, who is supposed to bring good dreams, so perhaps you will get a good night's rest under the condor of Lilin. It is here that you will try and cross through the Wendigo Peaks to the House of Knowledge.
All right. Does anyone have any questions?
Why trees?
I'm sorry.
Why is it that the children of a mountain are trees?
Oh, well, Ash and Embla,
Kind of looks around the room to see who might be listening, but carries on.
they are older than anyone I know, anything alive, I think, apart from perhaps the angels themselves. I suspect you will have to speak with the trees again.
You see, I was going to, but then I was stopped several times, and I'm rather quite indignant about it. Sorry, no offense, children.
Offense taken.
Perhaps you could ask yourself why you are Drow, why this one is Turtle, why I am Goliath.
Well, I suppose because my parents were drow, those trees are children of a mountain. It doesn't quite add up.
Does everything need to make sense to you?
Yes.
Yep, be prepared for a life of disappointment then.
Oh, believe me, I have plenty of that already.
Well, the mountain is natural. The tree is natural. Even you are natural, and your parents and their parents. We all must come from something. And the trees come from the ground.
Noted.
To the task of today, then. The options before you. We could think of only 3 possible ways out of Uma. At least, without having to travel north. Which would take so very long. Your first option is to travel through the old bluestone mines. Some scouts have confirmed that there does not appear to be undead in the tunnels. It will take you underground, south and out of Uma. It will, in theory, allow you to pass the undead entirely, though it is a bit of a maze down there. Alternatively, you can try your luck by moving at speed, running directly through the hordes that wait outside the walls. We have 2 rested direwolves, trained to pull a sled. But from our watchtowers we can see just how many of the creatures are beyond the walls. It is unending. I suppose lastly you could attempt to sneak across the snow, past the hordes, forsaking speed of the sled for cover of steady stealth across the open snow plains. Whatever you decide, we will try and support you how we can.
Thank you, Thors. I mean, what do you think? The mine sounds to be the best option, correct?
Yeah, clearly the mines would be the best choice, though, I doubt they've scouted our entire path through there. Who knows what dangers lurk.
If we had a third wolf, would it be faster or safer, I wonder?
We have no sleds that are bigger than the capabilities of these two. If you add another, it simply does nothing.
Scratch that then.
So, am I to understand that the fastest journey would be by sled?
Yes. Normally, if there is need of emergency, if we have to leave even in the dead of winter, we would take a sled and the wolves and head south. It is a very clear and open path most of the time. But now, it seems as if the whole of Gaia has died and is heading this way.
And the abandoned mines would be the slowest route, I assume.
It depends on whether you are able to navigate the mines easily.
Surely one of your people here can. Can we not just borrow them?
I suppose we could see if any of the scouts know the way through the mines, but they have not been used for hundreds of years. Nobody uses them, nobody travels through them, and nobody has mapped them out. Though the scouts have searched overnight briefly to see if the mines were filled with the dead, which they are not.
Just give us one of your scouts. They could be a hero, you know. You could be telling tales of them for many years to come. Gold and riches await. Any of you know the mines very well? Anybody?
The scouts are not in my charge. You will have to persuade Oswald.
I am not sure.
Very little
what-
success.
I'm not sure what advantage taking a scout would give us, considering they hardly gone in there at all, and no one knows the entire
Never
Canary
heard
at the
of
very
a
least.
canary. Exactly, sir.
It would
Now
just
you're
pull
thinking with
resources from the
self-preservation.
town. Resources that are sorely needed.
So your idea is to send a Goliath scout ahead in case they suffocate?
Well, would you rather it's you suffocating? Seems to me like we're the people who are necessary for saving the world.
For the greater good and all that.
Yes, that too.
I believe with our magics. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that my hand, which is resting on the table, is like, my knuckles are white at the moment, and I'm taking like deep breaths. I'm box breathing over here.
I'll sort of rest a hand on your shoulder and say, I believe that our magics would allow us to survive much easier if we were to be in some sort of trouble where we have a lack of oxygen.
Yes.
Well, don't promote us for not having a canary then. Don't say I told you so, because I will be.
You could always turn into one, Jilden.
I think I would make a very, very cute canary.
Debatable, but a canary nonetheless.
You got a lot to say for a man with no ideas.
Can elderly canaries still fly?
Ooh.
An elderly wolf can still bite.
Right. Well, I think we're all agreed we're going through the mines. Unless I do not think we would be successful being stealthy with this group. and I look at Jilden, and then I look at Sia.
I shrug.
And then, and then I continue. Being caught out on foot in the plains would be awful. So, the only other viable option would be to take the sled, and that sounds quite dangerous.
I agree. If the horde is as unending as you say, Thors, it's certain to be the much more dangerous route. At least in the mines, we can perhaps, it may be an unknown, but we can deal with what comes to us, whereas an unending sea of undead we cannot deal with, even if we are fast.
Yes. I understand. The mines have been closed for a long time, but it is not as if we have not been in there. There is few things in there that are not friendly. You will have to be cautious even through the old bluestone mines. However, if you are able to follow the tracks for the mine carts, you should be able to stay somewhat on the path that you need to be on.
All right, thank you very much.
There are creatures. There are also things that we call drones. Ancient workers. Things that the old Goliath built to help with the mining. However, there is one creature down there that you must not encounter. It is known as Frozen Fred.
Frozen Fred.
Frozen Fred. It is an ancient Goliath experiment. It was supposed to protect the miners and the drones while they worked, but over centuries it has simply gone insane.
Well, luckily, I think we know a thing or two about its sanity.
And if we were to encounter such a being, do you have any advice?
I know only of stories. I know nothing of what this creature is, only that it is the one thing that all the miners of the past fear the most.
Right, we will be careful. So, this is it?
Well, part of it at least anyway. What do you mean by that exactly? This is it?
We are leaving Moon.
Yes. Did you never expect to leave this place?
I had not.
Well, in that case, consider this, I don't know, a time of enlightenment for you, you know? See the open country, open dead country.
Make sure you have some trinkets to remind you of home. It can help.
I'd pack some snow, but
I have enough. I've been given plenty. Shall we embark? We do not want to lose light.
Lead the way.
Yes. You must simply travel to the tower, the same which you traveled up the mountain with before. Only this time you must take the other door and it will lead you down into the old mines. Travel
Okay.
well.
He puts a hand on your shoulder, Cirrus.
Remember, you are chosen for a reason. Each and every one of you. You are shielded by fate. And on top of this, Voriel, watchful and unyielding, will be your guardian on this venture. Will grant you safe passage. Your spirit, Voriel, will accompany these travelers as they tread upon the path ahead. The guardian angel will keep you safe. Have faith. Travel well. Good luck.
Stay safe here.
I'm sure they will have a
I
dragon.
Don't worry, we'll bring you back.
I put a gentle hand on Jilden's shoulder. Quickly, not lingering on the touch, but
I just barely acknowledge it.
all right. Are we ready?
Yes.
I
Let's go.
stride. I stride out of the longhouse.
Yeah, each of you have a pack that you can take. I'll give you the details in our group. It's a Dungeoneer's pack. No real difference between a classic Dungeoneer's pack other than this one has 30 days worth of rations, and you've got some fur-lined traveler's clothes in there, which you can flavor pretty much however you want to a degree. It's going to be pretty useless for the one of you that is wearing the Yeti hide, because that is significantly more powerful. But it would essentially be like a fresh set of clothing and a fresh coat, regardless of what you have. Fitted somewhat. I don't really understand how Jilden wears clothes.
Nobody does.
But however that works,
Which is kind of
it works. Okay. However it works, it works. And I assume you guys head sort of down through the town away from the Stonehome Inn, back towards the area where the that first tower was. Now, this is the tower that you guys partially destroyed with bringing the wall down. Though it is accessible, you sort of took the top off of this tower, but the bottom remained vaguely standing, and at least you can gain access into that tower, and head into the mines. That same set of tunnels that you went into. Is there anything anyone else is doing before you embark? You have the option to potentially grab any sort of random things from your possessions, or if you wanted to grab any other bits and bobs, trinkets, food, items, now is the time to do it.
Is there a stall or shop or something here in the Village of Moon, like an alchemist or something?
There is an alchemist. There is a council member who is a a pretty big deal. But there isn't stores in this town because they sort of they sort of honor system everything, right? Because they don't really believe in everyone just shares everything basically. So if you want to take something, you would have to essentially either barter in trade or sort of ask very nicely. However, the alchemist Win is part of the sort of like the council and therefore part of the sort of fighting element of the town. So you'd have to go and find that guy. But you can attempt to do that if that's what you want to do.
I would have liked to at some point. I know that chronologically it's kind of been bam, 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 but if there was a small moment, I would have looked for this alchemist council person, Win, and I would have tried to engage in conversation briefly.
Yeah, roll me a d20 and a perception check.
Okay, so 1d20 and then also 1 perception check.
Yeah. Assuming your
7.
perception is higher than your investigation.
My investigation is nil, but my perception is much better. My passive is 15.
Yeah. Yeah, the DC was 4. You set your own DC. Yeah, we can say that at some point in the evening last night, you took a quick once around town to try and find him and was successful. I would imagine he was probably packing up lots of potions. He's got like probably most of his stores would be varying potions of healing and salves and ointments and things like that. So he probably is packing that sort of stuff up and then running them down to the front line, as it were. This guy is an interesting looking Goliath in that he has one eye, but the other one is covered with like a kind of like a bandana in a way that kind of runs around here, the front of his head, and he wears a very kind of low, wide-brimmed hat and a set of very thick-looking kind of bear skin. It would look to you like 2 bears, one on each side of his body. This enormous coat, brown bear coat on him, and then he's just got lots of vials and trinkets hanging off of that. It's kind of druidic in nature in a way to look at, yeah, he's but he's I would imagine that you've either met him, spoken to him before, or you would at least know who he was because he is one of the council members, and they quite often hold these sorts of town meetings and stuff where these guys are prevalent and discussing things, and they discuss them quite openly in the longhouse, and you would most certainly have been aware of him in the last year or so. Assuming you sort of wander up to him, he kind of fixes you with a single eye, looking at you while he's packing these bottles up.
Yes.
Most esteemed council member, I have come to perhaps exchange or make barter, trade with you. You see, we're on our way out from this quaint village on a quest for the Quura. And and I pull out this large polished Yeti horn, which we got in a previous episode. This, which I would like to trade for anything you're willing to spare for our journey.
What is this?
He grabs it out of your hand and starts like studying it with his one eye.
I believe it is the horn of
a narwhal.
Close. Think a narwhal, but on land with 2 horns, and forget the whale part, put fur on it instead.
Cow.
Now put the cow on 2 feet.
Bugbear.
Now make it cold resistant and angrier.
Rabbit.
Bigger. Much bigger.
Big rabbit.
You were warmer with Bugbear, actually.
Goblin.
No. But same family, but not quite. Bigger. Not hob either. More Yeti-like, more... Well, it is a Yeti. Yeti? How do you say...
This is the horn of a Yeti.
Just so, yes. Good, yes. You...
Yes,
Most astute,
yes.
yes.
Very useful, yes. Yes, you would like me to make something with this, it will take a week.
Oh, no. This is for you, and then you can give me something in trade. That's how barter works, yes?
Yes. What do you need?
Do you have anything, I don't know. What do you have? What would you like to give? I mean, I would
You
say
are seer, yes?
Yes.
You are from the mountain peaks.
Yes.
Is the condor?
Condor.
No. You
No,
are
I'm not
from...
Condor Peaks.
Where are you from?
Where am I from? Down south.
Everyone is from
Deep
down
south.
south.
Yes.
Right. Of course, yes. You are going on this grand journey, yes?
Aye.
You are a good man for doing this. Here.
And he starts grabbing random vials and bottles, and he just hands them to you. He hands you like 6 bottles.
Oh. All right. And what do we have here? Do they have labels? Can I
Yes.
read the labels?
These ones here, the red ones. This will heal you. If you are injured, you must drink them very quick. Very, very quick. Less than 6 seconds.
6 seconds after the injury.
Yes, you have to drink a lot. This will help you very, very much.
I see.
It will
All
knit
right.
together your wounds. It will make you feel less nauseous. Yes, very, very good, very good. This one here.
Roll me a d20.
A D20. Oops, /roll 1d20. A 3.
A 3. He says,
This one is a mistake. But perhaps you can make something of it?
A mistake, you say?
Yes. You are drow.
How observant, yes.
Which side of your chest is your heart on?
Today, it's feeling quite central.
These will move your heart to the other side of your body.
I see.
Very useful in a pinch.
Okay. So I've got a healing potion. Was it 3 healing potions?
Yes. This one here, wait.
he grabs it. It's a tiny little vial. He shakes it around. It's kind of a thin, watery liquid. As he moves it, it kind of looks like it grows kind of thicker, like the water becomes a little more solid in a way. And then he pops the top off.
Yes, of course.
Puts the stopper back in and hands it to you.
It smells very nice.
I see. It's,
This one is very good for you. Also a mistake. I was trying to grow my eye back.
How did that go for you?
It is work in progress, but I was able to come up with this specific mixture here. It is made with candies, which we had to acquire from very far away. There are some shells in there that we picked from the beach, so it will be quite tough on you as you swallow it, but you will grow a third eye in the center of your forehead. It will help you see.
This will increase your perception skill by 2 for 1d4 hours.
I see.
Yes. With these, I will make you potions of cold resistance. This horn is very, very good. Oh, did you manage to get the pelt?
One of ours does, but he's kind of taken to using it now
This
as
is
some
very,
sort
very
of...
good to hear. This is very good to hear. Yes, do
Okay.
not touch it. Whatever you do.
He's not going to get a rash, is he?
No. You must not wear it. You must not tan it. You must not do anything like this. You must leave it in as much pristine as you can. You cannot alter it in any way. Yetis, where did you find Yetis? How many was there?
A few.
You bring them all to me.
You might have to send someone else back out there. We have other things to do.
Yes, of course. Where is the pelt?
The pelts, the one that we have, it's around. I'm sure one of yours will find it.
Good. Yes, we can make a very, 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 very powerful potion with it.
I see. It might taste a little bit green.
Yes, of course. Okay, the rest of these I must take to the Goliaths on the front lines by the wall.
All right, well, thank you very much again, council person.
Win.
Win. I take the bottles and clatter away.
Yes. Go well.
And he continues gathering up, where you sort of flash forward.
Okay.
And I will write to you the effects of the. You got so you have potions of
The
healing.
healing potions, yeah.
4 healing potions, 1 potion that will move your heart to the other side of your chest.
Dextrocardia potion.
Yeah, and then you have I don't know what we call this, third eye potion.
Third eye potion. Perception +2 for 1d4.
Yeah, I'll write that down there. You can have it.
Don't really have any need for extra eyes.
Not yet. You never know. The problem with potions, right, is that you never know when to use them.
That's fair.
You're going to end up holding them. You're going to go into the final boss with 100 elixirs like I do in every Final Fantasy game.
I think when I arrive back to the log cabin, I go, Jilden, present! And I throw the 2 useless ones to her, the Dextrocardia potion and the third eye potion.
I drink them immediately.
Okay. I'm going to give Frack the option to turn back time if he wants.
Am I there?
I'm not sure.
This is, we flashed back forward to, Oh, did you do this last night?
I did it whenever I saw her after.
Oh,
I don't know
okay. It's
when
up
that
to you
was.
whether you saw her last night then.
I would have been in the tower.
All
Yeah,
right,
you
then in
would
that
be.
case, no. Yeah, we'd be in the log cabin.
Yeah, this was at breakfast then.
Okay. At breakfast, she's sitting down eating her porridge. Everyone's there, and I go, Jilden, present! And I throw 2 vials of nondescript nature at her.
Yeah.
What are those? Where did you get these? No,
there were
stop,
some
children!
mistakes from an alchemist I met.
It's the best stuff I've had in a while.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, so.
A third eye appears in her head.
I think I would recognize that potion and be like, oh, okay.
Why are you
That's
staring
all
at
right,
me? What?
I've been told that was temporary.
What is it? What?
It's a good look on you when I take a piece of mica and show her
mica.
face in it.
I like it. Whose is it? I
Yours
sort of look
now,
around
I
to see
guess.
if I've accidentally stolen anyone's eye.
Oh, I try and poke her in her third eye when she comes too close to me.
Ah!
Did that hurt?
Yes, you poked me in the eye!
Curious.
It's curious. I gotta jab him in 2 of his eyes.
I think when you do that, I'm not gonna even dodge it. When you do that,
the 6 slits in my forehead open up slightly to like accommodate.
It's so creepy. You're weird. You're strange. You're a really weird individual. Not natural. Weird.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah.
Roll me a d4, Jordan.
Well, while this exchange is happening, while she's
For
calling
the
him
next 4 hours,
extremely,
you have +2 to perception when you roll.
she's calling him extremely weird with a third eye on her forehead.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of, I guess, staring at her.
I'm silently eating my porridge.
Yeah. Also, your heart is on the other side of your body during this time.
I think you feel it.
4 hours
think
of
you're right.
I don't know. I guess I assume that just means like I don't know. I have no idea what that
Did
means.
you feel it like move across, or did it just
My-
suddenly like blip over?
Maya's a doctor.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, so what? Is it dextro? I mean, it depends, right? Like,
I got no idea. Does it just mean the blood is going out the other way, or is
no,
it just
I mean,
that
like,
it's just in a
some people
different
exist
position
that
and it's the
have
same?
like, yeah, they have some people exist that have their hearts on the other side of their body, and depending on how total it is, it can be whatever, just like anybody else, and it can be devastating. But we can just say it's the total change, and everything is now reversed, and she's okay.
Yeah, there you go. So that is just how you are now, by the way. So there's no
Does it not turn back?
no.
I don't think I'd ever know. I would never know.
Probably not.
Are you left-handed now?
Oh my god.
I might recognize the potion. I'm assuming that Sia doesn't say anything, but I dabble in alchemy.
Roll for it.
Yeah, roll me an
Wizards on
Arcana
alchemist.
check.
That's a different class. Come on now.
As I'm.
All right.
11's
Oh, really?
a
Ooh.
rough one. Yeah. I guess
Can I
here's
say
what
that
I'll do.
I do
I'll roll
recognize the I one?
a 2.
Or
I'm going
roll?
to say that this one is labeled, but it's labeled with a bunch of like, sort of alchemic symbols.
Okay.
Which-
Sprite,
which-
backwards.
It just says Sprite on it, yeah. Doesn't mean anything in that world, so it's a potion of Sprite, which is sprites in this setting very famously have all their insides in backwards. So that's probably what was used in a lot of the making of the potion. So
These were mistakes, right? So like, it's not like it's a common potion.
right, yeah. He's labeled it with a bunch of his own. It's like like doctors write in that like weird shorthand. He's kind of done that with alchemic symbols. So Thrak, you might have an idea that maybe that this does something like that. It's either that this gives you some sort of ability to hide from sprites or some kinship with sprites. Maybe it gives you the ability to speak and read and write sprite language, or it does something where it turns your insides backwards.
I think I would be actually quite interested in this. Again, I kind of like alchemy, so I would, since there's only one that I could test, I think I would grab Hilton by the shell, like she's just a prop, and move her over and orc handling. Thank you. And I would put my ear up to her chest and see if I could hear where her heart is.
I wonder where a turtle's heart is normally.
Yeah, that would be a medicine check.
I'm gonna Google where a turtle's heart is.
Excellent. I'm not good at that. Yes, I am. I'm very good at it.
Yeah, you're absolutely able to work this out. Her insides are backwards.
Okay. Well, Justin, it appears that you're...
It appears I have an orc stuck to my chest. Get off me!
No, sorry. And I would back away and I would try to explain to it. It appears as though some of your organs have switched around.
What do you mean switched around?
I mean, clearly your heart is on the other side.
Clearly, Finally.
Yes.
Am I going to
was just able
die?
to listen to it. I think if you were going to die from this, you would have done by now.
That's a shame.
I
So I
also
have to
don't
go
think
on
the
this trip
alchemist would
after all.
have given us this potion if it would kill us.
Who's to say?
I
Oh,
don't
he
think
did-
I've made
I
many
am
friends
to
these
say,
days.
I've worked with him before.
Very well. He did mention that, well, if we did have a Yeti pelt, not to touch it, not to tan it, not to even dabble with it, for the love of all that's mountain.
Oh yes, he probably wanted to use it as an ingredient of some kind.
I told him I didn't know where it's gone.
Well, there's one still up in the slough.
That's what I said. Regardless.
Somebody needs to get some lockpicking tools. You.
Just point us
I
there.
have the ability to open locks. We do not need those.
You always need lockpicking tools, son.
Do I have lockpicking tools?
I would like to have acquired a herbalism kit as well while we were here, if I could. I'd probably just go to the same person that Sia went to.
Exactly,
As,
it's the same conversation, except
but except for I just go up to the desk, put down a few gold, and just go herbalism kit.
yeah, he doesn't know anything about gold or anything like that. You just need to roll me a d20 to see if they have one. And you got actually you got to roll a d20 and then roll another d20. You got to beat a 15.
15 and a 7.
He hasn't got any herbalism kits.
What about poison? You got poison kits?
Roll me a d20 and then roll me another one. You got to beat a 1.
It's a 1 and a 4.
You have a poisonous kit now.
Yay!
Which I feel like I'm going to regret.
I have a crowbar. That's as much as a pick-locking kit as I think I need.
Yes, I think you need. You're going to be regretting it when you don't have one because that's all you thought you needed. How many times have I been out and about in those woods and found a lockbox somewhere that somehow has had exactly what I needed inside it? I tell you, it's more than 3.
Just ranting to
Noted.
myself at this point.
I'm watching and not really blinking and just listening and going, noted. Yes. Okay. Of course.
As I walk away from you, I very purposefully put my staff on your toe.
You're lucky we're Quura. Whatever that means.
When she does that, I let out like a nose chuckle, and it's probably the first time you've ever heard me do a chuckle of any kind, and it's just one of those like forced breath through nose.
Serious, are you ill?
Must be.
Insane.
I I would like to if possible, some of the spell requirements that or some of the items that I need for my spells, I would like to get them from the cleric house. But some of these are like pretty extravagant, so I don't know what options the cleric house would have available to me.
My rule is that if it doesn't have a gold cost next to the material component in the spellcasting list,
Yeah.
you can justifiably say that you've picked one up or you've found it or that it's been given to you through any means you want. If it has a
Okay.
gold cost,
Yeah.
then let me know what it is.
Yeah, there's one. So, Revivify requires diamonds worth 300 gold pieces, which the spell consumes. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this spell will ever be used because I don't know about this
Right,
world
yeah.
if I can mine for diamonds.
It's a whole thing. The one
Yeah.
crazy advantage about being in this town is that they have no use for diamonds. They don't mean anything to the people here. But again, it's whether they have it. So all you need to do is roll me a d20 and then beat that with another d20.
Okay. Okay.
That's a curious notion. If it's supposed to be worth 300, but it's worth nothing to them because there's no price to anything, then is the diamond priceless and infinite in wealth, or is it worth nothing?
You got to beat a 16.
Wait, did I do it?
You've got to roll another d20.
Oh, right. Sorry.
You
I
set
have
your
to be-
own DC.
Brad just can't
Thank
be asked
you.
rolling this week, so he's making us
I'm not
roll.
doing anything this week, apparently.
Well, no.
A 9. Yeah, they don't have any diamonds. You know, for whatever reason, this thing you're looking for, diamonds, they might have had some in the past. Maybe some travelers came through and they like sold them or like just gave them away, you know. Some
Okay.
idiot
Yeah.
bard showed up, sang a few songs, and they were like, do you want any stuff? And he just filled a bag filled with like
Jeez.
diamonds and gems and stuff because it's worth stuff in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just don't have any. And there's plenty of mines around. They mine the area for some stone. That stuff, bluestone, the mines that you're going into is just stone, but it has kind of a blue, it's kind of a bright blue and a blue wash to it, so it doesn't have any other properties. But then they also mine for starlight shards, those things that's essentially like long-lasting coal. And every now and then they find random things, you know, it's like Minecraft, it's the same rules. They just find a block that's filled with diamonds. However, unfortunately for you, when you sort of try and seek this out, there isn't any. So if it comes to it, you will have to source that on the travels that you go on.
Okay. Cool. Sorry to bug you, but I do have 2 other items or spells that I probably need. I need specially marked sticks, bones, or similar tokens worth at least 25 GP, and I need 2 platinum rings worth 50 GP each. So
the rings do me another double D20, set your own DC, and then beat it. I like making you feel responsible for your own failure. You know,
That's good.
you can't use it against me.
It is neat to roll for your own DC. I like the concept.
You rolled a
no
12
rings?
and then you rolled a 5, so you don't find the rings either. Yeah, they just don't have.
You
it was
guys are
it's
fucked.
platinum rings.
Platinum rings, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Even if they had like platinum, I don't know why they
Just
would forge
gonna
into rings. They just don't exist.
Unprepare that.
Yep. The sticks I will just let you have, to be honest. I think
Okay,
that's the
thank you.
type of thing that would just be readily available to the other clerics here.
Yeah,
and
okay.
you guys are sort of setting out on like a world-ending mission, and I don't think they have any problem with supplying you with them. So that you can certainly have, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sometimes it's consumed in the spell. It's a bit of a weird rule in D&D. Sometimes that stuff gets consumed. So the diamond, for example, if you use Revivify, it gets consumed and you need to get another one. That's how that works. But the sticks, I don't know. I have no idea what spell that's for. So we'll find out. We'll all find out together, because I'm not going to find out. I'm not going to Google it. I'm not that kind of GM. I don't care. Until it happens, and then I'm like, great, you've ruined my game. But up until that point, I don't care.
Two things. One, I would like to know the name of the bard that hoodwinked the entire town and where he may have been going. Two, I would like a chance to get a pearl worth 100 gold.
A pearl worth 100 gold. Okay, yeah, D20 and then D20 yourself. The bard is called Dave.
Ah,
Gotta be a 10.
Dave. What a bard name.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
What happens?
Makes breaks.
he makes it, breaks it. Yeah, you have it.
Excellent.
Wow. Is there a diamond on it?
A diamond on the pearl.
Do you know a spell that will transmute
Anything into a diamond?
anything into a diamond? It's possible. I don't really know. There's
Wait,
some
Brack,
pretty crazy-
let's work together. You can learn how to transmute diamonds for me, and I can keep
Yeah.
you guys alive.
If you get me, if you get me the spell, I can
Okay.
learn how to do it. Yeah.
There you go.
I
just
gotta
need
get
to-
you a spell.
find some sort of transmutation spell.
Become truly invincible, just unlimited.
Yeah, we just can't ever die.
Yeah.
Literally could save an entire country with
I guess
wealth.
I'll have to
just
learn how to
using
do
it.
Revivify as well. And as long as both of us don't get killed, we're good.
Should be fine.
Okay, is anyone picking up anything else now that you've learned how to get stuff in this setting?
Just nothing important. Just like re-upping some alchemical supplies, and I have a little pouch on my belt that is filled with something that I cannot share in present company. But perhaps her sense of smell will get it. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not spread.
Marijuana. Oh, okay.
It's
I thought you were like trying to get through customs.
So, what do we say? It's passive perception on that?
Definitely
sleight of
passive
hand?
perception. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I catch your hand. Stop it.
God damn it!
All right. Everyone's prepared. Everyone's suited and booted. There's a sort of
Alright.
brief, set of close-up shots of you all putting gloves on and then like buttoning up a thing and yeah.
The
Eating
wall
my
makeup
gourd
underneath
and-
our eyes, putting knives into our
Sighing heavily.
sheaths,
Yeah.
loading my M16 fully automatic rifle
Yeah. Transmuted from a pole that you found on the ground.
from a dust bunny
From a
that I
set of
found under my
sticks with
bed.
a bunch of runes on it worth 25 gold pieces. Okay. And yeah, with that, I think we sort of see you guys head back towards that tower. It is still obviously going to be in ruins. This place is it was kind of wrecked, and it's not really being utilized. Though there are a few of the Goliaths still around because they're kind of dotted all along this wall. You see a few watchmen as you head towards the tower, and then once again you're faced with that door that's like kind of just partially ajar because you guys had such a nightmare opening it and getting through it. And I think we see you sort of descend into the mines known as the sort of ancient bluestone mines. And this place is bizarre. I think so in the first episode you guys climbed up this mountain to drop the stone down. You go straight into that same set of caverns that you started maneuvering, but they told you make sure to go up, and you guys went upwards. This time you're able to open a second door, head down a set of steps, and make your way into an old mine shaft that is, and it looks really old. This isn't like an abandoned thing that they sort of discarded within like the last decade. It's probably not been used for like hundreds of years, and it's sort of just this endless network of ancient mine shafts that are nestled beneath the sort of icy peaks of Moon's eastern mountain range that heads south. Usually you would leave Moon by traveling dead south across the plains. There is two sets of mountains that kind of create a pass that you can just travel dead south. You've probably all been out plenty of times and done this. You've done it before. You went to a lake there once. You encountered one of the, like a little frog out there. But the eastern set of mountain range here is sort of just endless, just an endless set of mine shafts through it. For the most part, they were mining the bluestone here. And again, this was hundreds of years ago. This was a long, long time ago. But you would imagine that these mines once upon a time served as a sort of a vital source of minerals and starlight shards, and the bluestone itself, which some of the structures in Moon are still made from. A lot of the temple is made from bluestone, but also those old, out of use Goliath altars and magical like plinths and stuff that they sort of have around the town are all made out of this same stone. But this place is now just entirely abandoned, and you guys would presumably just start walking. Let's have a group check. Let's go with a survival check from each of you, and I will give you a DC.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
That'll be 48, which I think you've just smashed.
Oh,
we got 75.
Yeah. All right. Well, learning to up all DCs from
No,
now.
don't do that.
No.
Don't do that.
We got 49.
We were just exceptionally successful this one time.
Yeah. No. You're able to quite easily navigate south by entering into these mine shafts. The sort of one piece of advice that Thor's really was able to give you was that you want to be following the signs of what we'll just call man-made structures, the mine shaft, the different minecart tracks that are, and a lot of them are kind of just destroyed and left in ruins, but it's not like they're functioning, but you still see the remnants of them and the remnants of sort of this ancient set of tunnels that have been in use. And you guys are maneuvering through this pretty confidently, I think, for a while. The place is almost entirely abandoned. It's really very silent. The place, you get the sense that you're the first people to really walk through here properly for a while. There's the sound of some skittering things of maybe creatures in and around this place, but you get the sense that it's probably more likely to be something like rats, small, ineffectual creatures. And the other thing is that it's not too cold down here in this mine shaft. It does feel like it's on an incline, like it's going underground deeper and deeper for a little while before kind of feeling like it flattens out. And then there is a relative dip in temperature as you recognize that you've probably left the influence of Vorial, and there is a noticeable change in sort of climate. You notice that there's a little more ice on the walls, the flooring, the areas of this mine that were probably running water. There was probably water running maybe from the lake or just natural condensation from the walls is kind of frozen in many places. There are just parts of this place that essentially once upon a time maybe were running rivers with the presence of people and whatever tools they were using, whatever magic they were using to tunnel with. But yeah, there are like frozen rivers that you pass over on bridges. What I would like now is a set of perception checks from everybody.
You're welcome.
And you have to beat 48 again, which I think you've absolutely smashed. You enter into a chamber eventually, after some time of sort of just passing through this place. And I guess all of you, with Thrak being the last one to pick up on it, recognize a bridge that's leading over another one of these frozen pieces of water. The ice parts of this area seem very solid, like you can easily walk across them. But there are also still these kind of old bridges that seem to be relatively sturdy, kind of wooden for the most part, but like old sturdy wood that's just sat there doing nothing, even though time has has significantly passed. One of you hears a kind of strange chittering noise that I think registers as a little odd or a little different to some of the sounds that you've heard, something a bit more noticeable. And then we'll say, Cirrus, since you got the natural 20, you look up and you recognize that the ceiling is littered in here with bats, and whoever wants to can make me a nature check here to have the chance to figure out what these bats are.
Who's the best at nature?
Suppose. Well, unless the druid wants to go, I
Yeah,
will.
the druid probably.
You'd be surprised
I'll
how
go.
little I know about nature.
I think my curiosity, perhaps I've read something about these creatures.
Ooh.
23. Yeah, so I think like maybe you guys sort of stop and then sort of huddle together and take a moment while Thrak takes a look at some of these creatures and tries to figure out if they are just sort of, you know, bats that are maybe going to freak out but not hurt you, or whether they're a bit more dangerous. These bats are they're known as literal vampire bats. They subsist on they're almost a parasite in that they will seek out and drain the blood of anything that has blood. And they've been known to sort of swarm and rush and take down much larger creatures like a Goliath or like a bull or something. They will rush towards them, swarm them, and all of them will leech literally off of these creatures. And they've been known to just literally desanguinate or exsanguinate an entire Goliath. They're significantly dangerous when awoken and shouldn't be disturbed.
Yeah, I would relay all of that and say we should try to move quietly and not disturb them.
Okay. Your stealth checks. You can choose right now to do this as a group check or individually. Mechanically, this is just because I think it's fun to put this on you, but this is essentially whether you choose to one by one sneak from one side to the other, or you kind of huddle together and cautiously and carefully together move across the bridge or the ice, whichever way you decide to go.
I vote for group.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
in the spirit of Quura.
Yeah,
We
I would try
function
to
as a
stick
group.
us all together. I would instruct us, like, hey, let's just, you know, everyone sort of quietly, let's go.
I have to roll a wisdom saving throw. I've already gone. No fear, no hesitation. I've gone.
Oh yeah, he's
15
already
stealth.
gone. Okay, well you fail. So I guess how does it go? There's a bridge over some ice, and the ceiling is covered in these bats. Now these bats are extremely perceptive. The DC was 17 or 68 as a group. What happens here as you stride out ahead of everyone?
I think they simply hear me because, you know, they are bats. They echolocate and stuff. So I feel as if perhaps as I step, there might be a crunch, maybe some stones, loose stones, kind of scrape against each other. It's cold down here.
Yeah.
Yes, idiot.
And then there is
I think I'm stealth.
the sudden and very iconic sound of bats.mp3 that I don't have.
Audio jungle.
Audio jungle. Bats suddenly screeching, flapping, and chaos begins. I'm going to bring you over to this battle map and put you guys on it. Now, it is dynamically lit. I forgot to mention, Jilden, it's very dark in here. Cirrus.
Wonderful.
Sia, I'm going to say you're like maybe in the middle of the bridge on your own. Brack and Jilden. You guys put yourselves where you want, but close to where you are right now. And then roll me some initiative. Remember to hit, click on your token. And I will roll for the bats. Let me give them
Of course.
some tokens of color here as well. Now these are swarms. Swarms, just for those that are curious or need a refresher or are not D&D experts like me. Swarms work a little differently sometimes. They can kind of occupy the same space as you. Normally, you two creatures can't really occupy the same space. Well, they can't end their turn there. They can do that. They can sit on the space with you, and they're kind of like constantly rushing around you. Also, when you hit them, you have to treat this like there's just like loads of bats rather than it being the token representing one. This represents a whole swarm of little bats biting you. So when you hit them, you're kind of killing some of the bats. While they're above half their HP, they're more powerful, and once they go under half their HP, they are less powerful, so they do less damage and stuff like that. That's the general gist of how swarms work, and that's what's coming at you now. 4 separate swarms, but that's what you're looking at. Let's have all the bats go on the initiative of 21.
Jeez.
Obviously.
Of course. All right. The first thing that happens is Sia, you get swarm.
All right.
get, I'm just going to have all these bats do this. And they are all going to come for you. So here comes 4 attacks all towards you, because I don't think they're even aware of the other 3. I'm sorry.
They wouldn't be.
Yeah. 21, 15, natural 24, and then a 6. There's 5 for some reason. Oh no, that's the initiative.
The first
that
one
is
was
4.
the initiative.
Yeah, so it's
So
a
only one of
15,
them hit me.
24, 6, 10.
Only the natural 20 got me.
That one gets you. Okay, so the classic sound of bats rushing, and I think the 3 of you, apart from Jilden, who probably can't see anything right now,
What's happening?
2 of you see Sia kind of walking across this thing. You hear the crunch of a part of this bridge, and then suddenly, just he's gone. It's like what I've seen from Batman, when it's just an absolute shit ton of bats swarm him. In that, you feel them kind of biting at you, and they're only tiny little pinches, right? They're little bites. But then you notice that a couple of them have kind of landed on you, bitten into you, and they're kind of like mosquitoing, drinking your blood. It's not like they're sucking it out like at a rate that you can't stop, but you do recognize that is what's happening here to you as these guys start sucking your blood. Literal vampire bats. It is now Cirrus's turn.
So
Yeah,
they don't do any damage, they're just sucking right now.
Correct.
Okay, I run forward to
You
stand
take
next to him.
the 8 piercing damage, sorry.
Okay.
And I cast Spirit Guardians. Basically I cast the spell with my hand in the air, and small like shards, almost like thinned out mountain peaks, raise from the ground around me, in a radius of 15 feet and around Seer as well.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. What else happens? I forget how Spirit Guardians work. I know it's
Can you show
unbelievable.
a description for us?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, so you are evil, they appear fiendish, so yours appear fiendishly, yeah?
No? No.
An affected creature's speed is halved in the area. When you cast a spell, you can designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. So,
Yep.
I'm assuming you're just going to
That
choose
would be
the party
all
members.
yeah, that would be the party members.
When a creature enters for the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay. Cool. Thorak.
That's it.
So have they made the wisdoms?
No, it's when the creature... Didn't we work
think-
this out? It's on the
It's when they
turn.
start their turn, yeah.
Okay.
For the first time
Don't.
on the turn or at the start of its turn. So it's either or. Because they've just began, they can do
When
it now.
the creature enters the area for the first time, which is not what it's doing because it's already there, or on a turn, or starts its turn there, which is what will be happening when it's on its turn.
Very well.
Yeah, it's the same as the other one,
Yeah. Yes.
and that's the rule. I just needed to read it. The last 2 sessions I've been mentally unwell.
So I'm a wizard.
I can finally
at-
DM again.
And I expect that everyone has been waiting for this moment. I am going to finger guns
Mm-hmm.
at the bats, and light gathers at the end of my finger gun, and I pull the trigger, and a massive fireball launches towards the bats.
What the hell was that?
It lights up the room, Jildan, and you can see the bats for the first time. There's absolutely loads of them.
So it says 20-foot radius, which
Right.
is massive.
Yeah, let's make it now. Let's do this. Spells, where did I put them all?
What did you cast?
Let's cast Fireball.
Fireball.
Ball.
Is it opening up this
Yes.
dungeon with a cast of Fireball?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, so 20 foot is what? Something like that. Hang on.
All right.
Is that correct? Is
Might-
it one
A little
bigger?
bit smaller.
Might be a little
smaller.
smaller.
Like that?
Yeah, I can do the ruler. Wait, hold on. Can I not do the ruler?
It's 20 feet
There
now.
you go.
Okay, you should be able to move that wherever you want it to go.
Yeah. Alright. I cast fireball on those two. And, let's see, is this one that I, yes it is. Right, so the...
Right. 2 deck saves coming in. 5 and an 11.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gone. They are just completely evaporated. You know, they're Thanos'd away. One of the bats turns to another one and says, "I don't feel well, Mr. Stark," and then they just turn to ash.
I look at my finger, and then I look at Gildan, who I'm assuming is standing next to me watching.
Mouth wide open.
Mine too. It's the first time I've ever cast.
The fuck was that?
I'm not sure, but
Why
it
didn't you
worked
do
very
that
well.
before?
I just learned it.
You should learn faster.
All right, you want to do
I'll
anything
try.
else?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Sia, your turn.
Okay. On my turn, I am going to. Are any of the swarms that actually bit me still alive, or were they part of that ash pile?
The ones that bit you are the orange ones.
Okay, I'm gonna swing at the orange ones with my quarterstaff. For a 19 to hit.
19 does hit.
For 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
I'm then going to swing again. It's kind of like, as I'm swinging, it's more, I'm like spinning the staff around like a propeller. And I'm going to swing again for 18 to hit.
That hits.
6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
Okay, and as this is happening, I then swing it back into its holster, or like to the ready position, and I'm just going to go into the swarm and start to Wing Chun punch each and every one of these bats.
Yeah. You sort of just like, you do most of them with the stick here. You kind of obliterate. They're just all falling around you.
Okay.
And then, yeah, go for it.
All right, 21 to hit.
21 is a hit.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
You Wing Chun the last of them.
Okay, then I spin to the red pile, and my last unarmed strikes, 14 to hit.
Yep.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
9 points of bludgeoning damage. Yeah, you take out a bunch of these ones as well.
Okay.
Okay. End of your turn?
Yes.
All right. Jilden, your turn.
Question: can I see, thanks to the fireball, the things on fire?
No, not these ones. It's all gone dark again for you.
Damn it. Then I do the only logical thing I can think of, which is pop into my shell.
Let's see if
Hey,
we
do
can-
that again. I want some warning.
You have a torch.
8 torches, canonically.
Oh wait, it is the bat's turn. And they
Yeah.
have to roll
Take it.
a whiz saving throw. Wow. That's a natural 20, but it's still a 16. They have a -4. The 16 beat it.
Well, they beat it.
All right. They still take some damage? On a failed save, a creature takes 3d8 radiant damage. On a successful save, the creature... Okay, so you still roll 3d8 and the...
Okay.
take half. So they
7.
take 7 damage. Yeah, you still see a few of them kind of get... I don't know. What are these spirit guardians doing for you right now? How do they kill these bats?
They're kind of like this pure white energy in the shape of tiny mountains that are like spinning around me.
Little sharp guitar
and-
picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they just kind of like incinerate in a white fiery flame as they get touched by it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that happens. There's only a handful of them left for the beginning of their turn, which they still have. Let's see here. I'm gonna roll a d2. 1 is Seer, 2 is Cirrus. Cirrus, they're gonna sort of aggro onto you here and try and bite you. 16 versus your AC.
That is a miss.
Miss. Okay, it's your turn.
Yeah. Okay. So I like pulling out my sword and trying to hit a bunch of bats is not really effective, I don't think, right? It's like swinging it.
Up to you.
Or,
I mean, it depends. If you do
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? That's what the dice
Yeah,
roll is.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my longsword, and because I took a feat a while back, I'm a warcaster, which means that I have advantage on Constitution saving throws to maintain my concentration, and I can still attack it, you know, and not lose my concentration, stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I will pull my long sword and try to hit these bats.
You do. Yeah. How much damage?
6.
That's how many are
Slashing.
left. 6 are left. How do you destroy the last 6?
I just lift my massive sword like guts, and I just drop it down on them in like one line, and they
Shish
just
kabat.
yeah, shish kabat.
Perfect. And you defeat the bats successfully. Yeah, these bats are destroyed. You look around. There's maybe a few that kind of flitter off and get away from you here, but you are successful. You have defeated the bats. Thank you for using a couple of spell slots right out the gate there. I appreciate that.
You are
Yeah.
welcome.
It's quite the spectacle for 4 bats.
Smiles smugly.
Right, because you are now going to. Did you say you were going to do something?
Yes, I would collect
The ash.
probably none of the ones that I killed, but maybe some bat wings and other obvious alchemical ingredients if I could.
Yeah. Okay.
I keep walking.
You keep walking, yeah, and you head into the real dungeon. I will bring you over here. So, you find yourselves in just sort of an endless set of caverns while you're kind of walking along and following these tracks and the signs of the mines. You run into an area of these caverns that seems to have fallen into significant decay. It's probably much older than some of the areas that you were in, or maybe it's just less it was less well kept in its final days, and you start to lose track of which way you should maybe go. Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? Do you want to go onwards? Thor's mentioned that there are areas down here that just sort of turn into a maze, and you find yourselves walking into now the first part of that maze-like area. Now, you are now sort of free to move your tokens about on here. Jilden, we're going to assume that you're doing what you did last time, where you're kind of holding on to someone.
Assume that I'm stuck to Thrak like a limpet.
Right. An absolutely enormous limpet. But yeah, you're free to move your tokens around. If you guys move around on this map and engage something, if you run into a creature or you run into sort of like an encounter of sorts, or if there's something of note, I'll let you know. But you have a moment here to sort of explore the area in the map as you run into this very maze-like area here.
So,
what do you guys do?
As a drow, I have superior dark vision up to 120 feet.
Oh, did your token not have that? What does it have?
And I just changed it myself from dark vision to superior dark vision. But just wanted to mention that I did have that.
Does the token not have it? Or you did it?
I don't know what the token's full range of vision is for dark vision.
So...
Can I have some?
No, it's all mine, sadly.
Difficult to see. You know who would share? Binkle.
Winkle.
Binkle.
Binkle.
Yes. The man who used to scrape my feet.
I see.
Haven't seen him since that night. Everything changed.
I think perhaps you shared a bit too much with Binkle.
Not enough, by my count. Not enough.
At least you left him something to remember you by.
I left him a lot of things.
Mostly for the flakes.
They're valuable, you know. Like gold.
I'm sure Thrak could have used some of that for an alchemical product or something. Say, Thrag, how much would you say total foot scales are worth anyway?
Scales?
Yes.
Probably not very much.
Sorry,
Depends on the
Jilden, you heard it.
condition.
You're useless.
Back. Thought we had a deal.
They are very useful. I would wager worth something.
So you're electing to
Be a
scrub her
lot.
feet then, are you then, in that case?
No.
Oh, come on now. Waste not, want not.
I don't understand why you don't.
I don't need them. You're the alchemist.
Now, don't
You
have
may
to
need
fight over
my
who's scrubbing
potion.
my feet. You can both have a turn.
On that, I walk briskly away. Not out of fear, but disgust.
Okay, yeah, which direction do you want to go here? There are multiple different options in front of you.
With all my dark vision, I'm going to just lean against the stalagmite and look at the party. And shrug. As I always do.
I'll peek down this passageway. I guess I'll sort of peek down each of them. See what I can see.
Here, don't go so fast. I can't keep up.
They all seem pretty similar. Down one route, there is a set of mine cart tracks that you can see that haven't been completely destroyed by time. Down another, you can see that there is some of that frozen ice, but that's about it. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of difference between the ways through. This area over here is a dead end, but you can see through to the other side. While looking through that part of the wall there, you can see that the cave sort of extends around there, but
Now, if I was frozen Fred, where would I be?
Are you seeking him out?
No, just a question.
So where would you be?
I'm not sure. It might be in the name, perhaps, but we were told to avoid it, so it's just something to think about, I guess.
I can see through and down here. I guess I would, since it's like right here, I would maybe look through and see if I could see anything of note.
Yeah, you can see through. It just looks like an empty cavern.
Okay. She's
Down
been
the-
holding my hand.
Yeah, I'm holding your Yeti cloak.
Okay, alright. I guess we'll go in this way.
Okay. Yeah, you guys start
Good
pursuing
choice.
the tracks, heading forward, and you see that they kind of continue to lead southward. There's another opening that takes you more towards the east. Ahead of you, there are some mushrooms. Who wants to roll me a nature check?
I guess that would be me again. Maybe I've read about mushrooms in my long hours alone in a tower with lots of books.
21. As you sort of peer down the cavern here, you can see that the area is sort of covered in these strange-looking mushrooms. The mushrooms themselves don't seem to be a big deal, but you can also see an almost imperceptible sort of mist that covers the floor and some of the area there, and you recognize that these are spores. There is a very high chance that these spores will be in some way dangerous. It's possible that they will just get you high and you'll just feel kind of weird and you'll have an acid trip. It's possible that they'll just poison you and make you feel a bit sick, nauseous, and it's also possible they can do much worse things. They can paralyze you. They can kill you. The area ahead in this southern area here looks like you might end up, if you can figure out a way to get through it without sort of inhaling these spores, you'll be okay, but be it at your own peril progressing through that part of the cavern.
Yes, I tell my companions, those mushrooms, I recognize them, and there must be Anthraxius maximus, the mushrooms that are very dangerous. I don't know exactly what they do to us, but likely it would be bad.
Right. Well, he means don't eat them this time around, Gildan.
Don't go near them at all. The spores themselves are dangerous. We should avoid them and the area they're in.
What about for science?
You could die. You want to die?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we can look and see if we can get around them. Yes, I think there's a passageway over here. We could go down.
I wonder, are those spores flammable?
Now, if this campaign was done by Larian Studios, they would be.
Right, they would be, wouldn't they? If it was done by Larian Studios. There's one way to find out. You want to waste another fireball?
Yeah, sure.
Spell?
At his
Hold up.
suggestion,
Fireball.
I'll cast. I'll cast Firebolt. No, I'll cast Firebolt
Yeah.
at one of the mushrooms that are a bit further away, like down here.
Right.
Yes, I sort of raise my staff up and do a little fireball.
There's no
Fireball.
crazy chain reaction that happens.
Okay.
You sort of ignite one of them and it sort of creates a little light in the cavern for a moment. Probably everyone gets a bit of a blinding light, like when you look at your phone in the middle of the night. But then, no chain reaction. It doesn't like explode and set off a horrific, endless divinity set of explosions.
Right. Well,
Worth a try, I suppose.
let's move on then. Go into this.
Yeah, you find yourself in a chamber where they probably once mined what they could mine from this part. You can see that there is sort of the end of a track, but it doesn't seem to be the end of the track. It's just where it must have split off at one point and come down here. There is absolutely nothing of note in this room as you look around it.
Is the air getting colder or warmer or the same? Have we noticed anything in terms of that as we've been going through?
I guess roll me a perception, investigation, or survival check.
Perception, investigation, or survival? Perception, 12.
Seems about the same temperature. It's
Alright.
pretty cold down here, but not unbearable. But generally speaking, it seems to be about the same as it's been the entire time. You don't get the sense of a breeze or any notable exit nearby.
Okay.
Let's move along up this way.
I take the rear.
Are you sure the mushrooms would kill me?
I'm not sure they'd kill you, but nothing good would happen.
That's what they said about other
Unless you like hallucinating. Orcish would never say that, but I think Thrak just assumes that, like, no one would want to hallucinate in a dark cave.
Yeah.
How do I know I'm not hallucinating already? I can't see anything anyway.
Why don't you use a torch?
Why would I waste my torch? I have you. You could be my eyeballs.
I haven't been asked yet.
Be my eyeballs.
There's nothing in the far end of the hall.
Okay, well, let's go this way then.
Seems safe to the end of the wall.
And stop.
Oh, excellent. Glad the wizard was leading.
Well, you seem so
None of you stop.
confident.
Burrowing upwards from underfoot on that soft sort of discolored patch of earth there,
Oh.
there is 2 swarms of beetles. Please roll me
Oh,
some
Beals.
initiatives.
What's a beal?
I don't think I've rolled an initiative above 6 in this entire campaign.
My initiative's been rather quite bad as well, but let's see if we can change that with this roll. 11.
Oh.
For the record,
Goodness
there's
me.
one on the tile that you're on.
Oh.
It's
There's one
directly
on me.
underneath you, yeah.
that is horrifying. So I'm
Can't
standing
wait
there
for
and
this to get
beetles just start crawling
Rushing
all
up
over
your
me.
legs, yeah.
Oh, God.
I think I shout out,
I
noted,
light
watch out
myself
for
on
soft
fire.
soil.
On the plus side, I only rolled a 5 on their initiative.
Thank God for that.
Ooh, do I get first strike? I need it.
You
Get
may
them
do.
first strikes, baby.
You may do. Yes, you do. You
Okay.
are going first.
I immediately set myself on fire.
Okay.
You know, not intentionally. I shoot a not ball, but fire bolt at
Yeah.
the beetles that are crawling at me, and
Alright. Don't roll in
I'm
that for a
okay
1.
with taking damage on my. I think
Okay.
that
Beetle
would
goes,
make
what are you doing
absolute
that
sense.
for? Oh,
Bearing in mind, I am attached to you still. So.
Yeah, it's the scene for it's a scene from The Mummy, and I'm losing my mind. I shout, so upset. Immediately
The guy in
cast
the fez.
firebolt.
Yeah.
Um,
You have disadvantage.
I have disadvantage. Okay.
Yeah.
A range spell.
15's gonna
15.
work. Yeah, you do
Wow.
it. You managed to get. I mean, they're rushing up you. You're only gonna get some of them. I don't think there's any way you're gonna kill all of them in this.
9 damage.
Yeah, you. They come rushing up. They burrow up out of the earth and they start running up your leg. And this firebolt goes down your leg. You see it. It takes a bunch of them off. It takes a bunch of them out. There's still more of these things rushing up and out of the ground and up your legs at the moment.
Yeah, can I drag... I think... Actually, I'm going to roll for this to see if I have the composure to think of Jilden at all. What would that be? Like a...
I guess maybe a con save.
Sure. DC 10 or something?
Or Wiz is sort of mental fortitude, I guess. Con would do.
Okay. So, not with disadvantage. So yeah, I think of you. I grab your little turtle arm, and I'm gonna drag us both. I guess over here. And I don't know if that gives opportunity of attack. Did you see where I? There you go. There you go.
It does.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Okay. A few of them will attempt to bite you as you rush. They're falling off of you, but I think there's probably just naturally some still on you biting at you as you rush away. Or a 10 versus your AC.
I didn't. Yeah, the Yeti cloak
Yeah,
somehow.
they're biting your boots
too
and stuff.
thick.
Yeah. Okay, Sia's turn.
I see the swarm coming up from the ground. I'm going to pull out my staff and try and beat them back down to the ground, I suppose, as
Okay.
they come up.
Yeah.
With a 15 to hit,
15 hits.
12 points of bludgeoning damage, and then a 9 to hit.
9 misses.
Okay, I put the quarterstaff away, and then with a flurry of blows, I then start stomping on the ground, I guess, to try and stomp at these beetles. With a 21 to hit,
Definitely gonna hit, yeah.
6 points of bludgeoning damage,
Okay.
and then
10 to hit.
10 hits.
All right, with another 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Crushed all of them.
All right. And then I suppose I'm going to run towards this swarm here. Why not?
Okay.
Point of order
Yeah.
for the beetle's turn. I have a crawling staff of nature, which means crawling things of the earth are attracted to the item like moths drawn to the flame.
Oh yeah, that's true. They are.
So I would assume they would come towards us.
They will
Anyway.
immediately come for you. Yeah. Seer, you
I
get
start screaming.
opportunity here.
Crawl.
I
I
think
don't
they're
think
after
you'd
me.
know.
I think
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
after
you
me.
wouldn't know. So, yeah.
Okay.
They're after me! Someone!
Opportunity attack. I see them crawl away, and I'll swing down with my quarterstaff for a 12 to hit, which is going to be 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
12 to hit. Yeah, you hit. Or 12
Points of bludgeoning damage.
points of bludgeoning damage. Okay, they are still alive for this attack, but they do have less than half of their HP. They are going to...
Angels above us, please send help! Still freaking out. Like, absolutely losing my mind in the darkness.
One is it's going to attack Thrak, and 2 it's going for Jildan. 2, Jildan.
Yes.
Ooh, natural 20
Ooh.
for 10 piercing damage. By the way, this is the final beetle. It's the last one. It's one beetle did
I
this.
can't see it. I can't see it. It's crawled up my leg and I can't see it.
Yeah. It's just leaving an endless amount of bites up your leg as it's going.
Can I actually say that I'm trying to whack the last beetle and I'm doing the damage
You're doing the
with my
most of
staff?
that. Yeah. The 4 is from the beetle and the 6 is from,
What did you do by
from
blade?
Thrak.
Smacking.
Alright, Jildan, it's
Stay
your
still!
turn.
I've got it! I've got it! Oh.
My claws lengthen as I attempt to slash at this beetle running up my leg. I'm on a 9.
You miss it.
Yeah,
It
I can't see
dips
it.
behind your knee.
Stop moving! Stop!
And you take another smack to the thigh.
It's
Do
going to
anything
avenge
else
this
in your
entire
turn?
swarm.
Is that the end of your turn?
That's it, yep. That's it.
Alright, Cirrus.
Yeah, I come around the corner and I try to, with as much aim as possible, cast Sacred Flame on it.
Oh, well, that would work, yeah. Let's see. It has to make a dex save. Which it does.
Wow.
There is a tiny little localized sacred flame that happens on the side of your leg, and the beetle just does like a crazy... This beetle is basically like, you know when you play Spider-Man and he has all those
Mouth
QTEs?
wide open, yeah.
And he's doing a QTE. It's like God of War or something. Like he's like Shadow of the Colossus right now as it runs up your leg.
Slow-mo shot.
Just absolutely having a blinder on the QTEs as it's jumping past the things coming in and trying to kill this one beetle, and every time it lands it bites you and then jumps off again. A little tiny sacred flame happens. Okay, Thrak, it's your turn.
Thrak's eyes are so wide right now. He thinks that he breathed in the mushroom. Like, what is going on? I don't have the presence of mind to do anything but try to hit it with the staff. And if
Okay.
I miss, I think the full damage should hit Jildan if
Okay.
everyone's okay with that.
Yeah, yeah.
A 16 hits. You have to do 1 bit of damage.
8.
Yeah,
eight
how do you
damage.
kill it?
I think I get lucky. I think I'm swinging at her so many times.
You
I'm
get
s-
lucky where I flinch, it flies off my arm into midair, and
Yeah.
you're just mid-swing, just doof, like slow
I
motion.
just happened to hit
baseball.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
complete luck. And I don't even know that I've gotten it. I'm still swinging my staff, trying. You must die! Die!
There's
That's
a
the
sort
most
of
orc
beetle
you've ever
paste on you.
sounded.
Yeah. Yeah, you did the beetle swarms. They sort of like, there are none remaining. You've managed to get all of them, including the incredibly powerful final beetle there.
I look
Oh,
up
no,
to
you
Thrak
don't.
and I say, noted, soft soil might have beetles, but there's a chest right behind you, it seems.
I look over to it. And I say, why don't you open that one?
I wonder why. Because someone earlier said, you don't need anything to open boxes. I have knock. And I just stretch on the stalagmite that I happen to be standing next to yet again.
I let out a low growl.
A spectral hand smacks the back of Sia's head. And then Thrak walks over to the chest, I guess.
Spider crawls out from underneath Thrak's Yeti robe.
Immediately cast a firebolt
It immediately
at it.
goes to my staff.
Oh yeah, it would. It would just crawl over to you.
I think this spider doesn't do that, actually.
Ooh.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is one
I
of
tried
Sia's
to. I tried to shoot another firebolt at it. What would happen?
What would happen? Not even a flinch.
It's up to Sia, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's a spider. I mean, if you hit it, it's been hit. Did you hit
Okay.
it?
What is the AC
20.
of this spider? Does it have stats? I can't
It
remember
does,
if
yeah.
I gave you stats.
You didn't give them to me, but you told me that they did have stats.
Okay. What are its stats?
Spider stats, but it's dead. A 20 hit it. It's
Oh
dead.
yeah, 20 for sure hit it. Oh, it just has a single spider stat. Let's have a look. Yeah, in front of you is a spider. Yeah, okay, it does exist. It has an AC of 12, HP of 1.
It did.
And I will let you have access to that in a little minute. So in front of you is like a very, very old looking lockbox that seems to have sort of survived the weathering of time here. There is a few scattered tools and things around, and just like sticks that were probably once like pickaxes and shovels and things. You get the sense that this area was probably used as a sort of storage. There is an exit to this cavern nearby that's had a full-blown cave in, and that this was maybe an area where they kept some stuff of the remnant. Although on the map it is just one lockbox, like very obviously sat there. There is actually like the remnant of lots of boxes and lockers and things that were probably kept here, but one seems to be intact. It looks like it's just sort of very vaguely intact, very brittle. It does have sort of a brass what's it called, the metal on a box is sort of like just a poorly made brass lockbox. It'd be very easy to sort of break and get into. Alternatively, it does have a tiny little brass lock on the front that seems to be sort of rusted beyond belief.
If it's really rusted, I'll try to just yank the lock off.
Yeah, give me an athletics check. Yeah, that is a natural 1, basically.
Well, that was with disadvantage.
Oh, you got a 7.
I got a 7.
Yeah, no, this does it. I'll allow it. You're constant. Why are you constantly rolling with disadvantage?
I changed it. I apologize.
You just said it to query you at the beginning rather than. Never mind.
Okay.
No, he says.
I said okay.
Oh.
Leah said no.
Leah does the same thing.
That's true. Yeah, you guys, you do that. I never use that version. There are multiple options where you're using the one that's at the top, where you just pick it and leave it on forever.
Just convenient.
Passive, yeah. It is slightly convenient, apart from the fact that it is the least convenient thing ever, because you're always rolling 2 numbers on the screen, which means every single person in the chat room that's never seen D&D before has no fucking clue
Idea what's going on.
means.
Yeah, I'm
If
terrible.
there's one
All the
on the
production,
screen,
Leah, and
people
Orcish.
understand it. The moment there's 2, it's over. They've lost any hope of keeping up. And second of
That's
all,
like 3rd grade maths.
I just assume that for some reason you know what you're doing, and that this is how much I don't give a fuck about what's on your character sheet. If you're rolling with disadvantage, I'm like, oh, they must for some reason have disadvantage on athletics checks. It's some bullshit they have, and I don't know why, and I don't care why, because I trust you all slightly too much, apparently.
Yeah.
A 7 is enough to
Absolutely.
break this. The DC is 5. You break the lock off of this very easily, and then sort of lift the top up here. Inside, I need you to roll me a few things because all of the boxes in here sort of have random loot in them. The first thing I'd like you to roll me is a D4. A 2, okay. The second thing I'd like you to roll me is a D100. And then D20, please. That's not the page I want. I want this one. Okay, so inside is not one of those. You find 51. You find a pendant with a semi-precious stone set in it. That can be whatever you want it to be. Actually, no,
diamond?
it can't,
Diamond.
because it's going to be a diamond if I leave it up to you.
You said semi-precious, so it wouldn't be a diamond. It'd
Oh,
be like a
thank you
topaz.
so much. Whatever. Topaz? Oh, it's a topaz. It's a topaz.
Miss, we got homework.
But as you, and a topaz is orange and yellowy, right? So as you grab it, Thrak, what color are your eyes? Because it changes to match the color of your eyes as you
Yeah,
grab
they'd
it.
be, my eyes would be brown.
Yeah, the stone doesn't change its, material. It just changes to the color of the same brown of your eyes. So you have, write this down, a pendant with a topaz stone set in it, the color of which changes to match the wearer's eyes. And then you rolled,
The ultimate accessory.
yeah. Oh, roll me a D2. You are going to be so happy when I tell you what's inside here.
I'm guessing it's spell scrolls.
There is one spell scroll in here, which is the spell scroll of Charm Person, written in, it's written in like old Goliath. So you might not
Okay.
immediately recognize what you'll recognize for sure that it's a spell scroll. But it can be easily translated by Cirrus as she sort of wanders up, maybe points out that it says Charm Person. So that is the scroll of Charm Person.
So it's charm person.
That's what she says.
Oh, okay. You'll have to read it to me in full.
Charm person sounds like
Uh,
good
charm
or
arm.
something.
Or son. Charm person.
I know
Yeah,
how
I'll
to
read
do
it to you in
that.
full.
No comment.
What did you just say, Jordan? What did you just say?
Did
to me?
I know how to do that?
You know how to charm a person?
Yes, I never use it because people are already charmed by me.
I wonder, is that
Right.
an innate thing or is that a spell of yours, Julian?
Well, it's very useful if you want people to really like you.
I see.
I wink. Really exaggeratedly.
At the wall.
I have no idea where you are.
And you got a
We sure.
15 as well. There's another thing in here. There is a pipe in here. It is made from dragon bone, and there are intricate patterns carved into it. Probably
Says
made from like
almost red good on
a
it.
dragon ear bone or something like that. There's a dragon bone pipe in there as well. Wizard needs
Okay.
a pipe, doesn't he?
Point of order, since it's now conversation. I have 41 assorted gems. How many of those are diamonds?
Why do you have 41 assorted gems? When did you get that?
You should ask yourself that, shouldn't
Yeah,
you?
I'm sure I probably did it, but when?
Yeah, I think it was in the pre-episodes. I gained them.
That's right. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Well, I think you
before the
asked for
Quaggoth
them.
meet, so yeah, maybe.
I think you went in and you were like, "Are you gonna pay me And then they
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, with what? And you were like,
Oh yeah.
they were like, we only have these gems.
These useless stones.
those useless stones. Yeah. How many of them are diamonds, and how many of them would be worth the amount that you need
300
them
or
to be
more.
worth? Yeah, because they need to be like good things. How do I roll this? How do I work this out?
Honestly, you could probably just say, like, roll a 1d3 or a 1d2. Because it's not going to be that common, right?
It needs to be pretty. I feel like it needs to have 2 rolls. Roll a d10, right? We'll give you a 10% chance that there's even diamonds in there. If you roll a 10, you get.
It's a 3.
Okay, so there's no diamonds in there in the first place. Then I was going to have you roll a d41. That's how many diamonds were in there. But yeah, it's assorted gems. It ain't diamonds because they gave them all to that bard.
Damn it.
What? We must find this Dave Bard.
They're also probably like little, like tiny little gems rather than like big, perfectly cut diamonds. You know, they'd be like raw gems that are just kind of weirdly shaped, but it'd still be.
Yes, I see.
It would look like the stuff that you'd put in the bottom of a fish bowl. You know, stupid as that sounds, but it's just a bunch
It's
of colourful
amazing
gems.
how these have been downgraded over the time.
But they're not.
Sorted
I guess
gems
they're not like it's
to
not. It's not like you're lugging
various
around a
plastic.
sack worth of like
Just coloured glass.
thousands and thousands of gold worth of.
Here you go,
coloured
Jill. Here's
dye.
some assorted gems.
they said it was gems because they didn't know. They didn't really care about the difference. It's actually just sea glass.
Just fucking fruity pebbles. Cereal.
Hey, all right, roll a d100. If it's a 1, it's literally glass.
It's beads.
Okay. No, it is gems, but they're just like, you know, they can be semi-precious gems as well.
Yeah, okay. Moving on.
Yeah, that's all that's in this box. You may continue. Also, ahead of you, down here, this area, that is a very, very deep-looking hole there. It seems to be kind of precarious.
Mind the gap and perhaps don't drop anything in there, especially bucket-shaped.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should probably go this way then. Like we can maybe see through a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. Once again, you can just see through, and whatever you can make out through there on the map, you can make out with your actual in-character eyes. Actually, give me a
there might be
perception check
another
as you look through there.
chest.
A full-on perception check.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do a group perception check again, and we'll say that the DC is quite low. You know what? Let's go with the good old 48 we were using earlier on.
Oops, that's persuasion. Sorry.
Uh,
I just
I will be
changed it to a
taking that
+5
roll,
and it's-
and we will be using that as to why it is
That'll be a
that
14 then.
you hear what you hear. No, you can reroll.
Did 3 of us roll 10?
Jilden has +2 to all of her perception rolls. Remember, because you still have a third eye in your head. It hasn't been 4 hours yet.
You're
Right.
muted, Leah.
Oh shit. I thought it was roll a 1d4. Never mind.
No,
1d4
it's just a
hours.
flat +2.
Yeah. So I got 12.
All right, a 24 on that perception there, I think, means that you make this. Or maybe you did it before. What you can hear from through this gap, it isn't what you see, it's what you hear. You hear this kind of like strange noises coming from the other side of this wall. Like
Triggered
that.
my Zelda PTSD right there.
Sounds like a Star Wars droid.
Oh my god, it's speedy.
Literally the sounds of BD one.
Okay.
What in the hells was that?
Not too sure, but there is a wide cavern over there. It looks like it links to the part of the cave past that gap that we saw earlier.
What if it's the thing? What if it's the Fred, the frozen Fred?
It might be.
I'm assuming this part of the cave wall is like stone.
Yes,
and
you
doesn't
can
look
see
like I can break
through.
through it.
Yeah, you can see through little gaps in it, but it's like solid stone beyond. You wouldn't be able to break it down. Well, you would, but it would take an insane amount of time and effort,
To cave us in.
Alright.
and it would probably cave you in, which is how my first ever campaign ended. TPK through cave
Okay.
because they punched a wall.
I'm assuming that we can get around this.
Yes,
If we are
this
careful.
is purely here just for Myre, so he can jump, because I know how much he loves to jump. I don't know how to calculate a jump. I've been doing this since...
Yeah, he uses that against you.
Yeah, I've been doing this for almost a decade, and I still don't know how to calculate jumping in the game. And I know that it's Myre's favourite part of the game. So I just thought I'd put a hole there in the ground. You can jump across that. You may also attempt to sort of like slide around the edges. If you want to try and scoot along the edges, you need to make an acrobatics check. Otherwise, you need to be able to make it across a 10-foot jump.
Okay.
Which just requires your movement speed, right?
No, you can jump up to your strength score. Only if you run 10 feet first. Otherwise, it's half.
Okay. Well, then I can... strength score, right? So I can
Yes.
jump 16 feet. So I'll make it.
You hop over.
Hey! Where you going?
You'll... Sorry, Jilden. You'll have to jump. There's a great chasm.
You
Here,
want
let
me
me
to do
light
a
your
blind
way.
jump?
Let me light your way, and I will take out a torch and light it for her. Something that we all have.
Now, I think a torch nerfs all of you with dark vision. to
It will
30.
nerf my dark vision, yeah. So the 6 slits in my forehead will like reactively just like squint in the light.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. There's nothing over here. Don't jump. As I look.
Oh, thank God.
There's another direction.
There's just rubble. There's just some broken boards over here.
From what?
Wood.
Yeah, it's just sort of ancient rubble. There's a lot of it around. It's just I didn't populate the entire map with it because I'm not an actual game developer with 10 years of
Yeah.
time to populate this entire map.
All right, well, I hop across here.
Yeah. I'll follow him with my torch out.
Yep.
So that Jilden can follow me.
And then I'll instinctively stop because I'm not leading the way.
I'm not convinced I'll make this jump.
What's your strength?
It's alright.
you can do an acrobatics check to just sort of slip around the edge instead.
That's a terrible idea. Was it athletics check?
You don't have to make
No.
a check if you have a score higher than 10 in strength.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, and you just simply jump over.
That was scary.
Cirrus landed in the middle. I saw it. It's too late. I saw it.
It was an accident.
She falls into the Underdark.
Yeah, you guys each jump over this this hole. Audio listeners love this episode, by the way, as the tokens move around on a very visual map. Yeah, you guys jump over this sort of hole in the cavern here. Now by torchlight, you're able to sort of move forward. You do find the remnants of an old area where this mine cart track would have eventually ended, suggesting that you are still in the parts of the cavern that you want to be in as you navigate through this this sort of mine shaft, part natural cave, part mine shaft. And Jilden, if you wouldn't mind stepping one square forward, because I saw you do it.
Oh, yeah.
And then something sees you.
I'm off the leash for 5 seconds.
As Jilden lights a
Shouldn't have been that
torch
torch.
and you guys kind of move forward, the three of you that have been leading the way here kind of look down. You see that there's some tracks here. You're like kind of like piecing together like a way to go. I think we see the three of you in the background that isn't Jilden kind of discussing like, yeah, this means we're going to go and we'll go over there. As Jilden with a torch now sort of saunters forward, and from in the sort of dark around the corner here, Jilden, you see 4 sets of red, perfectly circular lights light up.
Oh, what in hell is that?
And that's where we're going to end today's session. Tune in next week to find out what's in the dark waiting for Jilden. Don't touch those tokens, don't touch those dials, and we'll see you next week. I just wanted to sort of verbally announce a couple of things. This Thursday here live on Tablestory, we have a new show, which is it's the second season of something which was previously paywalled on our membership page, called Under the Table, which is a show hosted by Technique, where he talks to some of the cast and crew of Tablestory shows, and just has a one-on-one chat with people. It's super interesting. If you want to see some of the other episodes of that, that's up on our membership page at merch.tablestory.tv. Otherwise, they'll be live from now on Thursdays. So that starts this Thursday at 9 p.m. UK time, which is 4 p.m. Eastern. And then is it this Wednesday, Orcish?
Who's the guest?
It is the 28th.
The 28th. Do you want to explain
Yes,
it?
the 20th, yeah. In my, yes, on the 28th. As Thrak, I will explain this. So, you see how it works is, on the 28th, we will be together experiencing the 5-year anniversary of the Tablestory show Nocturne. I myself have never seen Nocturne before, so I will be live reacting and watch partying it in the Tablestory Discord starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. And we will do 1 episode at a time every Wednesday until it's done.
There you
And
go.
I will be scared because I'm a baby. So please come and hold my hand.
Yeah, if you
I
want to
promise
watch
there's no Beatles.
the one of the most iconic Tablestory shows from the archive with Orcish, then you can do that on Wednesdays in our Discord channel. Links are available sort of all around, so I'm sure you'll be able to find it. This week, Tech will be interviewing Wax Steven on Thursday. We'll see you there for that. Otherwise, please check out all of our other shows, and thank you for watching this one. I hope you've been enjoying it, and we'll continue with this dungeon next week. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And everybody else, say bye to them. Quick, say bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.